sponsored by Cardiff Bay Developments. This is a contest of 12 3-minute rounds of boxing to decide the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. In the blue corner, wearing white shorts with red trim from Essex, England, the challenger, ranked undisputedly number 5 by all world bodies, a former ABA heavyweight champion whose professional record from 39 fights reads 36 wins, 3 losses, 35 wins coming by way of KO, the former undefeated European heavyweight champion, Frank Bruno. In the red corner, wearing red shorts with white trim from East London, the former amateur world junior super heavyweight champion, Commonwealth Games gold medalist and Olympic Games gold medalist. His professional record, he is undefeated in 23 contests, 19 by way of KO. The former undefeated British, Commonwealth and European heavyweight champion. He comes to the ring tonight as the undisputed WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis. At the weigh-in yesterday, Bruno scaled 17 stone exactly, 238 pounds. Lewis, 16 stone 5 pounds, 229 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World.
Frank Bruno has not had a t-shirt on, as you point out, under those warm-ups, George Foreman, and he's waited longer in the ring than has Lennox Lewis. Do you think that could have an effect?
The first major mistake. You don't enter the ring in this kind of weather without an undershirt. Your body's too cold, you can't react as good as you would ordinarily. I don't like that.
And we have word from our truck that it appeared Lewis was waiting it out in his dressing room for exactly the purpose of hanging Bruno out to dry in the ring. Now, meanwhile, we'll point out there's an enormous premium on winning in the first 3 rounds, because remember, Mickey Van, as the referee, will have the discretion to stop the fight anytime after 3 rounds if it's raining, and they would go to the scorecards and declare one fighter or the other a winner. So there is an enormous pressure on both fighters to do their best in the first 3 rounds. Also, as you look at Mickey Van, we'll remind you that Lennox Lewis had surgery in May of this year, immediately following the Tucker fight, to repair a tendon in the pinky finger of his right hand. So we'll all be watching early to see if Lewis throws that big right hand, and if he does and lands it, will he then throw it again?
If this fight is half as good as the commercial that promoted it, we'll have a hell of a fight.
Bruno pounding his fists together to jack himself up. Mickey Van calls them together, and round 1 begins. Lewis starts with a jab and a wild right while ducking his head, then lands a left hook.
That first right hand was an over right hand, as though he is touchy about throwing that right hand, Lewis.
And you have said to me, George, that you don't believe he can be fully healed this rapidly after the surgery.
Not at all, but you got 2 or 3 good ones, whether you're healed or not. But if the fight wears on with a lot of right hands, he could be hurt quick. His hand hurts.
Lewis missing with the right hand. So far, he seems more conscious of throwing the jab, which he didn't land effectively enough to satisfy his handlers against Tony Tucker.
As long as Frank Bruno hand hand up, Lennox Lewis is not going to wait right hand. It was in his interest to keep that left hand up as long as he can.
Lewis landed a left hook while backing up, no major effect. Right hand over the top as well, short. So far, Bruno not coming at Lewis to try to get anything going inside. A lot of people thought that Bruno would try to skirmish with him at close quarters early. It hasn't happened so far.
Lennox Lewis is playing the part of the counterpuncher.
Lewis slipping on the canvas and now trying to come back with a left.
Frank Bruno should be the experienced fighter and let this fight go for 2 or 3 rounds. You should not try to rush things. Lennox Lewis is in his interest to hit him hard and back up and draw Frank Bruno into his right hand. Bruno is starting to drop his left a little too much now.
And so far, the boxing gods are blessing us with dry skies. There is no rain, and we haven't been able to say that unequivocally in Wales for about a week.
First good right hand. It landed just a bit.
Didn't seem to faze Bruno.
But Bruno is starting a little rhythm with his left hand. He drops it and picks it up. Drops it, picks it up. Lennox Lewis is going to get the timing of it and throw it like a baseball. Right hand like a baseball pitcher.
Bruno lands the jab. Lewis looking a little bit ungainly and out of sync early. Much the way he looked in the closing rounds of the Tucker fight after decking Tucker for the second time in the 8th round.
Bruno is using the old keep him off balance. Keep the jab coming whether it's hard or not. Keep him off balance. It's a good strategy.
Neither man with a clear advantage in round 1 as it comes to a close. And you'll hear a big roar from the crowd.
I thought that was a very tense round by Lennox Lewis. Went a little right hand crazy in the first half of the round. Doesn't seem to have his bearing. Hasn't got Bruno measured yet.
Keep suckling. He's slow for you. He's too slow. Give me more Vaseline. Give me more Vaseline. Okay. Pick. Look, cross. Exactly what you're doing. I'll tell you what you're doing.
Frank Bruno is holding his hands very high, so Lewis's trainer, Pepe Carrera, has told him to go more to the body.
Both fighters relying on the jab in round 1. Only 18 of 90 punches thrown were power punches. A lot of them wild overhand rights by Lennox Lewis. Now Bruno pumping the jab early and going to the body in round number 2. Lewis still looking tentative.
Good right to the body.
Yeah, good body shot, George.
I'm surprised to see Lennox Lewis land body punches. You didn't expect that from him.
Well, he barely threw any body punches against Tucker, and he acknowledged that was one area in which he would have to be improved tonight.
Good right hand by Bruno this time.
Bruno appears the more self-assured fighter early on, George.
And I think he should keep him close to the ropes because he's not assured of himself, Lennox Lewis is, when he's next to the rope. He needs a lot of room to throw that right hand.
Another good jab by Bruno and back to the body. Crowd chanting Bruno, Bruno, Bruno. Pepe Correa, Lewis's American trainer, one-time trainer of Sugar Ray Leonard, keeping up a stream of instructions from just over my left shoulder. You can probably hear him through my microphone.
Good left hook by Bruno.
The best punch of the bout, that left hook by Bruno, and it backs Lewis up. Round 2, a good one so far for the challenger.
Bruno is constant. Lennox Lewis is constantly looking for one good right hand. good counter puncher, but he shouldn't wait all night. Things just don't happen good.
Lewis tying Bruno up. Crowd went wild for that left-right attempt by Bruno.
He was hurt. Lennox Lewis was hurt. Hurt again.
Another good left by Bruno. So far, Bruno is beating Lennox Lewis to the punch. And this is a shock for ringside experts who thought of Lewis as a heavy favorite in the bout.
Bruno should be careful because Lewis only needs one shot to have him getting up off the canvas.
Another good right hand by Lewis to the body. Bruno with a left. They traded punches. Lewis landed the right, but Bruno keeps going at it.
And he's starting to land those punches behind the head. The fight is turning the way Bruno wants it to turn now, into a slugfest.
And here's the challenge for 140-pound Mickey Van to pull these two large, strong heavyweights apart. Now Van is going to give a lecture.
Don't give me no shit either of you, right? Because I don't mind taking points.
Worst mistake that could have been made by Lewis was to get into this kind of fight. He doesn't need it. It's Bruno who needs it.
In recent fights, Bruno has begun to use some of the brawling tactics that Tyson used against him. Hitting with the elbows, holding behind the head.
What Frank Bruno is doing is trying to take away, and he's doing it successfully, Lennox Lewis's best weapon, the right hand. Much as a good football defense tries to take away the best weapon of an offense. Can Lennox Lewis beat him another way?
Nice, okay? Don't make no mistakes. Nice one, give him the drink. Nice wet locks now and again, okay?
I'll tell you both, tidy it up.
Okay. Everything's fine, all right? Lovely. When you do,
Bruno, I'll tell you, tidy it up.
when you do, let it go. But don't be just satisfied with the right hand. Come back with the left hook for round 3, all right? Keep them right hands to the body for me, too. Round 3.
Corner, 10 seconds.
There you see that little punch up at close quarters. Much to Frank Bruno's advantage, he is trying to rattle Lewis.
Round 3 begins. And in the 3-round battle, it is Bruno for the moment who holds the upper hand. But between rounds, George, you pointed out the swelling above Frank Bruno's left eye.
Which could start to tell in a minute because he's not going to have good vision at this point. You lose your vision with Lennox Lewis, you're going to get knocked out.
Lewis rallying to begin round 3. Caught Bruno a little bit by surprise.
Lewis is wanting a cut now. He's looking for a cut. He's hoping to cut this man, which he shouldn't. He should try to go for the knockout. Good body punch by Bruno.
Carl the Truth Williams was able to cut Bruno over the left eye, but Bruno nevertheless went on to score the TKO. That mouse above Bruno's left eye is in exactly the same location where the cut appeared against Williams.
Good right hand by Bruno.
Right hand. Bruno has Lewis in serious trouble. Let's see if Lennox knows how to hold on.
And Bruno leaped in at him the way he didn't leap at Mike Tyson after he hit him.
Lewis still in trouble. Bruno pounding away to the body. That right hand is one of the biggest punches Lennox Lewis has ever taken in his career.
Now, this is the time for Bruno to get close and stay close. He's making a mistake by staying so far away from him at this point.
Right hand over the top by Lewis. Breaking the momentum just a moment. Lewis appears to have his wits back about him, George.
You go through a training camp of throwing the right hand off to the side, as Lewis been doing. You're not going to be able to land a good straight right hand.
Bruno trying to finish. Remember, he had Tyson in trouble in round 1. Couldn't get him out of there.
Thing about Lennox Lewis, he hasn't got a defense. He just doesn't know how to fight when he's fighting from behind. He's not a catch-up fighter. Lennox Lewis fighting with his hands low, doesn't know what to do.
Lewis with a combustible right hand to stop Bruno in his tracks. Here comes Frank again with the jab.
Hands down. People's been telling Lewis, comparing it with Muhammad Ali, the worst mistake in the world. You win and you lose at the same time.
Bruno tentative now when he could have been trying to exploit the advantage he discovered earlier in the round. It was a huge right hand that had Lennox Lewis severely stunned. But now, Bruno appears to have let Lewis out of the forest. He got him drunk. He wasn't able to mug him.
Look, they're not going to wait there. So therefore, take your time, relax. When you get anywhere near the rope, those hands got to come up. All right? Now we got to start putting some hurt on this guy. And we have to do it with the right hand. Don't go right hand crazy. Just give me some jabs on this guy to back him up. Then drop the right hand, and I want the hook when you come back. Finish with combination. You're trying to punch one at a time. Don't do that. Give me some combination. Back this guy up.
You notice how Bruno is keeping his hands high to take away that right hand, and he lands his own right hand. Bruno is asking questions of the champion he has never been asked before. How will he respond to a real war? And Bruno leaped in behind that to seize any advantage he might have had. Good work, Frank Bruno.
And gentlemen, as those replays rolled, Lewis's manager, Frank Maloney, looked in over my left shoulder, watched them, and said, "Oh," in response to the right hand that stunned his fighter. Now you heard Pepe Correa asking Lewis to jab, back Bruno up, and then drop the right over, and then come back with the left hook. Let's see if Lennox was able to listen. Right now, he is the one who is eating Bruno's jabs. Tries with the right, both of them wild and missing. He went right hand crazy against Tucker on those occasions when he had him in trouble and wasn't able to land.
Bruno should be diving into the body right now. For some reason, he's headhunting a little more than he ought to. The body is wide open for Bruno.
Stiff jabs by Bruno, but all of them upstairs, as George points out. Lewis lazy with the left jab and dropping his hand as he pulls it back. I think Frank's going to unleash one of those rights.
Lewis is starting to get his rhythm. He's waiting for a good right hand, and he's got a good rhythm going there. At any time Bruno gets careless, he can be floored.
Bruno still the busier of the two fighters.
The first left hook.
He lunged with it a little bit, George. Didn't have the good rhythm.
Too much lunging, but it's a good left hook, and it's going to take a lot out of Bruno.
Bruno has been the surer-footed fighter. If the rain starts to fall, that will become yet another advantage for him.
Good right hand by Lewis, although he jumped in with it.
We are past 3 rounds, so this is now an official championship fight. Pumping that jab, George.
Lewis is waiting for just one right hand. He believes in his right hand that much. The little body punches by Bruno looks like nothing, but may mean a lot if this fight goes beyond 6 or 7 rounds.
Another right hand over the top, misses for Lewis. Pepe Correa yelling, "Look at that eye. Hit it, hit it." Bruno's eye swelling more badly as the fight goes on.
Now, Lennox Lewis' jab is getting a little better.
Another right hand over the top.
And that right hand hurt Lennox Lewis. The side of his hand he touched with his glove. Right hand is sore.
The pinky finger is bothering him, right, George?
It started to hurt him. I saw him grab his trunk.
Make sure you pull the jab all the time. Keep picking. Don't let him take the blow away. If you want to bring the blue right hand and the blue left hook hand, all right? And you'll fucking catch him, I guarantee. Drive him mad with a fucking jab and put a right or left hook or something, okay? They can't read you. Chris.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored?
Jim,
40-0, 40-36, Frank Bruno. I tell you, Jim, I can't believe this. The heavyweight champion of the world, in my eyes, is running away. Frank Bruno is taking it to him. Lennox Lewis is doing nothing more than pouring with the left hand. He pours it out. He misses the right hand constantly. He throws his right hand like a girl. It's all Frank Bruno. I'll tell you, it's a very poor performance so far for a heavyweight champion. Frank Bruno's quickly taking it right to Lewis.
Come on, get it out.
I hate to disagree with you, Harold. I gave the last round to Lewis. I thought he landed 12 or 15 good jabs, and Bruno's right eye could be in trouble soon.
Left eye.
Left eye, excuse me.
Round 5 begins. And Lewis begins by raking Bruno's left eye with the jab. Bruno now wild with the right hand, and I think you're right, Larry. I think the eye is affecting Bruno's rhythm, and it's soon going to get to his confidence. Lewis turns to Mickey Van and says, "Don't let him hold me behind the hedge."
Lennox Lewis is cocking that right hand just like a gun.
A bad habit of Lewis's, loading up the right hand.
He throws it so hard, though. Sometimes it's worth cocking up. All he needs is one good right hand. He can turn this fight totally around.
Now Lewis is blocking Bruno's jab from time to time with the right hand, and if the pinky finger is bothering him, that has to hurt too.
It's hurting him. You can believe that. I've seen that right hand drop to the waist a few times. That hurts him more now. That right hand is hurt.
But he almost landed the killer combination, the one that put Ruddock on the canvas in the first round. Right hand lands over the top for Bruno. Lewis backs up into the ropes again.
In the ring is no place to ask for mercy. They won't give it to you. Now Lewis is hurt and Bruno is not taking advantage of it. Let him get too much life.
Lewis still tentative, seemingly wary of Bruno's power. Bruno remembering to go to the body there, and he gets a left hook on the chin as his reward.
Bruno better keep that left hand up. Whatever he does, keep that left hand up. I don't know why Lewis is not throwing more left hook.
Lewis isn't doing much of anything right now, George, but there's a jab. Lennox just not very busy in there.
A left hook could take him over the top.
Bruno still beating the champion to the punch time and time again.
Good right hand by Bruno.
Good left jab by Lewis. Doesn't follow up. One punch at a time for the champion, sometimes a double jab. There it was.
That right hand cannot take that many missed punches, and those right hands are starting to hurt Lennox Lewis' hand. He has to rest it every time he throws it like that. He's got to rest it.
You got it down, George. Every time he throws the bright, he stops punching for the next 10 seconds. Loading up, loading up. Bruno puts him in the corner and misses with the right over the top.
Yes, got it, please. Okay, breathe in. Breathe in now, right? The fight's in the bag and you don't make a mistake. It's cut now. How'd you feel? Fine, you feel okay. What do you King Soldier do now, okay? Believe in your fucking yourself now, Frank, okay?
The world champion,
Frank, believe in yourself, don't make no mistakes. Put your fucking
Your
teeth,
eye's fine,
breathe
there's
in.
nothing wrong with your eye.
Okay? Okay, take that. Reese. Okay, let's have a look at it. Okay? Now, Frank, don't fuck about him.
Yeah.
Don't lose heart. Gain heart like Keith.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Here you watch Lennox Lewis as he tries to spear Bruno in the eyes, and he does so successfully. He'll have to do it a lot more if he's going to get this fight going in his direction.
Frank Bruno has never lost a fight on a cut. Mickey Van says, take the grease off of Lewis's face, and now we see that there is a cut above Lennox's Lewis, his left eye. Excuse me, getting excited about this. That is Lennox Lewis's left eye, which is cut on the upper lid. So now his eye becomes a factor, just as Bruno's is. Right hand landed for Lewis. Didn't stun Bruno. Over the top, missing, and then losing his balance as he goes to the body.
His gloves should be washed out, wiped off now. You could really...
Break when he goes!
It's getting colder here. Temperature probably dropping below 50 degrees outside the rings. The fighters have the benefit of the ring lights, which warms it up by about 10 degrees. Crowd chanting, Bruno, Bruno. Lewis missing wildly and holding on. Bruno pumping him inside with short right hand.
Lennox Lewis is having a lot of problem with his vision at this point, too. Probably because he hasn't been in this kind of trouble before in a fight. Don't know how to just sit back and cruise. Get your vision back, so to speak.
Right hand landed for Bruno as he pulled away. Left eye closing, right eye wide open as Bruno looks for every opportunity. Monumental upset in the offing here in Cardiff.
Bruno is starting to drop his left hand a little too much, though. Looking for a good left hook.
If it becomes a contest of cut men, the key men are Al Gavin in Lewis's corner and George Francis, the trainer of Frank Bruno. They'll be the men with the inswell who'll be trying to stop the bleeding. Lewis coming alive a little bit here, George.
Well, he's starting to turn into a dogfight, which would favor Bruno because Bruno can just back up and protect his lead.
Get up his hand! Get up his hand!
First uppercut, a right uppercut.
And it was a good one which backed Bruno up, and it was thrown on the break, which was a clever move for Lewis, who realizes this fight is getting out of hand.
Lewis is starting to even land punches below the belt.
Referee Mickey Van appearing for the moment to lose control.
Bruno is always faded in the latter rounds. If he can keep up his spirit.
Remember that Bruno led on the scorecards late against Bone Crusher Smith, was TKO'd in the 10th. Led on the scorecards late against Tim Witherspoon, was TKO'd in the 11th.
This is the first time that Bruno has been the experienced fighter in the World Traveler.
Right, straight. Listen to me, okay? I don't never tell you long in my life, right? Breathing deep. You're fighting with one hand, which is fucking good. But if only when you do jab, jab, and one jab and right fucking cross now and again, or left hook you catch him. But you're fighting with one hand, you've got to fight with two hands, okay? You jab and you cross him, you don't let him fucking back you up. Because that's when he comes into his own. You've got to keep him behind your fucking jab, and the left and the right occasionally, okay? Fighting with two hands, okay?
That's the problem. When you step off on that right foot, throw that right hand, left hook coming this guy. All right?
Every time.
Don't forget, this guy.
That commercial I referred to earlier ended with him saying 1 lump or 2. A lot of lumps in this fight, more than 1 or 2.
And they're using the inswell in Bruno's corner to work on his left eye, but I didn't see Al Gavin doing anything with Lewis's left eye, which is swelling just as much on the upper lid. Oh, a terrific left hand and a right over the top by Bruno, who takes command again as this round begins.
Lennox Lewis has got to respect Bruno, and he could have a different fight. Just doesn't have any respect.
Lewis in trouble in the corner and lands a sensational left hook. What a comeback by Lewis. Now let's see if he can finish. Bruno in serious trouble. He's got him now if he can finish. Right hand over the top. It was a left hook that turned this around, and a frozen Frank Bruno is there taking punishment. And Mickey Van is going to stop it. No, he's not going to stop it. He is lecturing Lewis, holding and hitting.
Mickey Van has given Bruno a chance to recover. Can Bruno recover? He's going down.
It's amazing that Bruno stands up, and now Mickey Van stops the fight. It was a one-punch comeback. Lennox Lewis, desperately behind on the scorecards, produced a sensational
his downfall.
You pointed out that Bruno took away the right hand, and you said, Larry, the question was, could Lennox find another way to win? He found the left hook.
Did he find it?
And it was a left hook that reminded me of the one in Tokyo that Buster Douglas put on Mike Tyson.
It was a left hook that reminded me of the one that Evander Holyfield used to turn around his fight with Burt Cooper in Atlanta a couple of years ago.
You remember earlier I said that Frank Bruno was asking Lennox Lewis questions he had never been asked before. We have seen Bruno before be very tough in the first half of a fight. Lewis answered the question, and he answered it affirmatively. He stayed in there. He found a way to win. He had faith in his power. When you got power, you're always in the fight. Right, George?
All right, let's take a look at how Bruno hurt Lewis early in the round. Here is Bruno with the overhand right that put Lewis in trouble in the corner. At this moment, it appeared that the question would be, could Lennox Lewis survive the round? And there's the punch. George, they always say a fighter is never more dangerous than when he's in trouble.
That's right. All night I thought a left hook could do it.
You said it. Now, what about the finishing job that Lewis did, George?
He never let up. He got hungry. He saw the guy was in trouble. He never let up, which is something that you can only get when you're youth. You go for it. You don't care if you get tired. You just go for the knockout.
For 6 rounds, it was surely the worst performance of Lennox Lewis's career. But now it became the guttiest performance of Lewis's career.
I mean, he got in there like a champion should, and he finished this guy off. The ref stopping him, didn't discourage him. Nothing stopped him.
And the final note of congratulation to the challenger, incidentally, because Frank Bruno produced an effort of which British boxing fans, those who have loved him for so many years, can surely be proud. He showed muscle and stomach and heart until he ran into that one unforgettable left hook.
He's translated the role of plucky loser into millions of dollars, and this won't hurt him either. Not in Britain.
You see trainer George Francis jumping through the ring at the end to rescue his fighter, who wouldn't go down.
We've seen Bruno in this posture before against Tim Witherspoon and against Mike Tyson.
Could not be done by the boxer. The puncher had to come out and do it.
Youth and power, it's wonderful.
Well, you know, you called this one cold, George. You said to us before the fight that Lewis would need to win with punching power. And frankly, I was skeptical because I'm thinking, hey, he's the more skillful boxer. If it's going to be a decision, he's going to win. But surely, on all legitimate, credible cards, Bruno was well ahead on points at the time when Lewis launched that left hook. From the moment he threw it, the big question was then, how long would it take for him to get Bruno out of there?
Bruno should never have gone for the knockout. That's the story.
Well, but
be content with winning by points. Don't go for the good stuff, and he did, and it cost.
But once a puncher, always a puncher.
Well, and George,
always a puncher.
He's been criticized for 5 years for not following up on the advantage or slight advantage he had over Tyson. He was determined to follow up. I cannot fault a fighter when he thinks he has the other fighter in trouble for jumping on him.
After 1 minute 10 seconds of the 7th round, the referee has stopped the contest. The undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis!
A memorable night, and the crowd got every pound sterling worth.
Great fight. Great fight.
And the bigger cheers are for Bruno. And let's take one more look, George Foreman, at the left hook that set it all up. Lewis in trouble as he backs into the corner.
Bruno on top, searching for that knockout after he's wasted himself. Here it comes. It's all the times on the button. A right-hand puncher doing it with a left hook. Bruno was never able to fully recover from that shot.
Look at him holding Lewis behind the head to try to gain an advantage. He misses the left, and Lewis lands right on the point of the chin.
And Lewis let up. That's the thing you get when you're fighting a young fighter. They do not let up when they hurt you.
Bruno has been criticized for having a weak chin. I have to surmise that that left hook would have put just about any heavyweight in history on Queer Street.
That was one of the best left hooks ever thrown in the heavyweight division, especially by a big heavyweight. Right on time. Makes you want to holler and throw up both your hands.
I'm looking at a Hall of Fame of left hooks in my mental memory now. Mike Tyson against Carl the Truth Williams in Atlantic City. The one that knocked Williams out 91 seconds of the first round.
Think about the Joe Frazier and Jimmy Ellis years and years ago.
There have been a lot of good ones. Let's take a look at final punch stat numbers, and you'll see the edge that Bruno enjoyed through 1 minute 10 seconds of the 7th round in number of punches thrown, in number of punches landed. Lewis's connect percentage was going up as the bout got longer. As Bruno tired, his defense was beginning to ebb away. Early on, it was one-sided in Frank Bruno's favor. You have to suspect that Lewis was beginning to turn the tide. And now, Violet, Lennox Lewis's mother, saying goodnight to George Foreman politely as she leaves the ring.
She's a star, no doubt about it.
She is a champ. She is an undisputed champion herself.
Boy, what a son she's got.
And she had sons in both corners tonight. Her elder son, Matthew Juarez, has worked for Frank Bruno for 11 years. And a third son, Dennis Lewis, said to me yesterday, hey, it's blood, it's in the family. We love him before the fight. We will love him when the fight is over, win or lose. These two fighters didn't like each other. Frank Bruno was greatly motivated. He says that Lennox Lewis, using the lingo of the street here, had called him an Uncle Tom. He wanted revenge, and for 6 rounds, he got it. But Lennox Lewis, with the guttiest comeback of his still developing career, turned it around with the left hook and won the fight, and now Larry Merchant stands by with the champ. Larry?
Lennox, congratulations on the fight. What turned it around for you?
I think I started to get warmed up. I got off to a slow start, and then finally, as the rounds went on, I started to get warmed up, and he started to slow down.
Are you saying you were cold in there because of this chill in the air?
Yeah, I was a bit cold. Even he was cold because I didn't see no sweat on his body. I was trying to keep some sweat on my body, but it just took me a while, and then I finally got together.
All right, take us through the fight. Were you surprised at how effective he was at what he was trying to do early in the fight, the first 3 or 4 rounds?
He was very effective. Actually, he's a lot better than I thought he was. You know, he came in terrific shape, and he came looking like he was going to try and, you know, pull it out. But, you know, I had full confidence in my own ability.
It looked like he was trying to take away your right hand by holding his hands high, and that frustrated or confused you for a while.
Not really, because he must have forgot that I had a terrific left hook. And that's when I realized after he started blocking my right hands, I started to go to the body with the right hand, and then I said to myself, I'm going to come around with the hook and let him see my hook.
All right, let's take a look at that last round when Bruno hurt you or seemed to hurt you and then try to press his advantage. Describe what you see.
Well, he thought he had me hurt. Actually, I just lost my footing, and I realized that I could see every punch coming, and I was blocking him. He was still hitting me behind the head, but then I just whipped out with my wicked left hook and caught him. As soon as I seen him hurt, I just, you know, pounced on top of him. I just really wanted to land one more punch, and I knew I would have had him like I did. The uppercut really hurt him right there. And I came with a hook again, and I knew once you have Bruno hurt, he's lost all stability.
Are you saying that because of his reputation and what's happened to him in his big fights before, that you felt that he would go sooner or later?
Definitely. You know, I realized that he was slowing down as we got into the later rounds, and then he really did, and that's when I used my speed towards my advantage.
Now, Mickey Van stopped you there and gave him a chance to recover. What did he say to you?
He said that I was holding, and I felt, oh, geez, stop. Okay, I just wanted to get right back at him before he regained his consciousness and take him out of there.
How frustrated were you in the first 3 or 4 rounds? It seemed that you were throwing a lot of right hands, you couldn't land it, then you stopped throwing the right. We thought that perhaps your right was hurting you. Was it hurting you?
No, my right hand felt really good. Like I said, he's been studying me from day one, because Bruno, you know, retired after Tyson, and then he was just studying me all the way up, and he was watching all my advantages, and he was protecting against the right hand, but he must have forgot about the left hook.
Is this the hardest fight emotionally and physically you have had to date?
It was really hard because it was like two countrymen. You know, I had a lot of pride at stake, and it was for, right now the country's divided, now it has to unite behind their champion.
Do you feel that you answered a question about you of how you would respond in a really tough fight with you perhaps not having the best part of it? Were you looking forward to having to answer that question?
Yes, you know, a lot of people out there there's always going to be a lot of doubts out there about whether if Lennox gets hurt, what would he do? And then, you know, I answered that question.
No question about that.
How do you feel about fighting Riddick Bowe now? Do you feel that you can deal with his great skills?
What great skills? He made his name off of Holyfield. He boxed two opponents. Now he's boxing Holyfield again. Why? He doesn't want to face any other heavyweight out there.
So give us your feelings as you come out of this fight, which was tougher for 4 or 5 rounds than a lot of people anticipated.
Well, all I have to say to the people, I pick good opponents, guys that are going to give me a run for my money. I'm not going in there to look for any pushovers. And, you know, I answer the questions that were asked.
Thank you very much. Lennox Lewis, still the WBC champion. Back to you, Jim.